Greetings, family. Come on, grab a seat, pour some tea, and come have a talk with Mama. Let's put something on the table today. I want to talk about doors. Yeah, doors. Not the doors to this house, the ones inside of us. Because all of us have things we open, and we also have things that we keep closed. We open up to certain people and we close ourselves off from others. We share some things easily and other things we protect. Sometimes we know exactly why and sometimes we don't. And sometimes something that needed to be closed at one point in our lives stays closed long after the danger has passed. So today, I want us to think about this. What becomes safe to open once we know where we stand? Because this week, we've been sitting in the frequency of spiritual truth. And the truth has a very interesting job. Truth helps us see. It helps us recognize, this is me, this is you, this belongs to me, that belongs to you. This is something that I believe. This is something I need to reconsider. This is where I need a boundary. This is where I need to speak. This is where I need to listen. Truth gives us a place to stand. And when we know where we're standing, we don't have to be quite as afraid to open up, And that's important. Because sometimes we think opening our heart means becoming unprotected. But those really aren't the same thing. Sometimes the reason we're afraid to open is because we haven't learned that we can have love and boundaries at the same time. We can love somebody and say no. We can love somebody and disagree. We can love somebody and tell the truth. We can love somebody and still have something that belongs to only us. And we can receive love from another person without owing them ownership of us. That's a very different kind of safety. And it isn't the safety of making sure nobody ever hurts us. None of us can guarantee that. It's the safety of knowing I can stay connected to myself while I'm connected to you. And that brings us to where we're going next, because we're closing out the frequency of spiritual truth this week. And we're going into a new week, a new frequency of divine universal love. And here's the bridge that I want us to carry across. Spiritual truth taught us how to stand in what is true without losing ourselves. Now, divine universal love asks, what becomes possible when we meet one another from that place? Think about that. What becomes possible when I don't need to lose myself in order to love you? What becomes possible when neither one of us have to shrink? Maybe we can listen differently. Maybe we can be more generous. Maybe we can forgive something we've been carrying. Maybe we can receive an apology. Maybe we can ask for help. Maybe we can give help without making somebody feel small. Maybe we can celebrate somebody else's gift without wondering what it says about ours. Maybe we could stop competing. Maybe we can create together. Maybe we can finally say something we've been afraid to say, and maybe we can admit that I just don't know. And in that, maybe we can let someone see us like the real us. That takes courage too. Family. I think sometimes we misunderstand strength. We think strength means keeping everything out, never needing anybody, never crying, never letting people know that something hurts, never asking for help, never changing our minds, never letting our guard down. But I don't think that that's the only kind of strength. There's also a strength it takes to know who you are and to remain open. Think about a house. A strong house has walls, but it also has doors and windows. If it had nothing but walls, it might be protected, but nobody could come in. Nothing could go out. There would be no fresh air, no sunlight, no gathering around the table. The walls have purpose. But baby, so do the openings. Maybe we're like that too, you know? Truth helps us build healthy walls. Love teaches us what the openings are for. And that does not mean that every door should be open to everybody. That's where discernment comes in. Some people belong on the porch. Some may be invited into the living room. Some actually get a seat at the table. And for sure, there's some people who should not have access to the house at all. Love does not require us to pretend otherwise, but sometimes we've become so good at guarding the door that we don't notice who's standing there with good intentions. Sometimes somebody has proven that they are safe, and we're still responding to something somebody else did years ago. Sometimes we're expecting rejection before anybody has rejected us. Sometimes we're waiting for betrayal. Sometimes we're afraid to receive because receiving means admitting that we can't do everything alone. That's truth. And sometimes the door isn't closed because somebody else is dangerous. Sometimes the door is closed because we're scared, not because of danger. And that is worth noticing. Not judging, just noticing, just observing it, you know? Because we're moving into a week about love, true love. And love may ask us to open something. Not everything. But something. Maybe you're listening. Maybe it's asking you to open your patience, your creativity, compassion. Maybe asking you to open your mouth because something loving needs to be said. Maybe your hands because somebody needs help. And it might be your expectations because somebody's showing you that they're different from who you assumed they were. Maybe it's asking you to open your ability to receive, your ability to forgive, your ability to be known, and even your imagination, because divine universal love isn't just about relationships between people. Love creates, love serves, love heals, love connects, love illuminates, love changes what can actually become possible between people. And I think that that's where the power of this next frequency lives. It's not simply love everybody, but what can love create here that fear could not? That's a very different question. Fear may say, protect yours. And love might say, protect what is yours and help somebody else protect theirs. Fear may say, their brilliance threatens yours. But love might say, there's enough light for both of us. Fear may say, if we disagree, somebody has to win. But love might ask, what truth can we discover together? Fear may say, if I open my heart, I'll lose myself. And love might say, stand in your truth and meet me from there. That's powerful, because then love isn't asking us to abandon ourselves or abandon our truth. Love is building on top of it, and truth remains. Boundaries remain, discernment remains, authenticity and uniqueness remains, your voice remains, your identity remains, but now something else becomes possible. Real connection, compassion, service, creativity, trust, unity, brilliance. Maybe that's why we're moving from spiritual truth into divine universal love instead of the other way around, because maybe before we could explore deeper unity the way we need to, it was important for us to know that unity doesn't require disappearance. Maybe before we could actually acknowledge the doors that need to be open in our lives, we needed to know that we were allowed to even have those doors. So family, here's the question I want to put in the center of the table today. If truth showed you this week who you are, what belongs to you, what does not, where your boundaries live, what could love now safely invite you to open? Sit with that. What could you safely open? And notice that I didn't say, what could somebody else open for you? I said you. Because this is an individual responsibility. And maybe you already know the answer to that. Maybe you need some time. Either way, it's okay. We don't have to force the answer, but as we move through this coming week, I encourage you to really pay attention. When you notice yourself closing, ask yourself why. And when you feel yourself opening up, notice what made you feel safe. When somebody shares something with you, practice receiving it without immediately making it about yourself. When somebody shines, see if you can let their light be beautiful without comparing it to yours. And when somebody needs help, see whether love is inviting you into service. When somebody needs a boundary, honor it. And when you need a boundary, honor that too. Because boundaries and love do not have to fight each other. Truth and love do not have to fight each other. You and I do not have to disappear into each other in order to belong together. And maybe that's the part of what divine universal love is here to teach us. We can be many. We are many. And we can still be connected. We can carry different gifts without cloning each other, and we still can build together. We can tell the truth, and we can still love. We can protect what's sacred and still remain open. We can shine and help someone else shine too. So, as we finish the pot of tea for today, I want us to carry one thing into this new week. Truth did not build the walls. Truth showed us where the doors are. Now, love gets to show us which ones are ready to open. Welcome to the frequency of divine universal love, family. Let's see what becomes possible when we meet each other from here. Queen Mama Moon.